Who will Logan Paul be defending his United States Championship against at WrestleMania 40? Now, if you've been following me for the past few months, ever since we started building up to WrestleMania, ever since some of these ideas have been thrown out since prior to Crown Jewel, I've been saying that the way to go to plan should be for L.A. Knight, to be the one to challenge for Logan Paul's United States Championship in Philadelphia and ultimately win that title, ultimately and finally win some gold, which will, one, cement him as a top superstar in WWE because he can back what he says, which is that he's going to have some gold around his waist, and number two, it keeps him occupied. It keeps him away from the undisputed Universal Championship, whether that be Roman Reigns or whether that be the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes by the time WrestleMania 40 comes around. But as things go with pro wrestling and especially WWE, plans always change. And Logan Paul is having quite the year. Yes, he's a part-timer, and a lot of fans don't like part-timers. They don't like part-time champions. But you can't deny that every time he goes out there, whether he's on the stick or actually performing in the middle of that ring, Logan Paul is someone you need to keep and continue to pay attention to. He's that damn good. And there's a lot of naysayers and haters out there that say that, well, he gets a lot of rehearsal time. They're able to plan this out in a multitude of ways, and we'll never truly get the full Logan Paul potential if he doesn't go full time. There might be some truth to that. There might not. We'll never know. Because again, that's all behind the scenes that hasn't been revealed yet. But every time he goes out there, WrestleManias, SummerSlams, Elimination Chambers, he puts on one hell of a show. He does not disappoint. And he's been creating quite the headlines. He's been creating a lot of enemies for himself. Hell, we could go Logan Paul versus Kevin Owens. That match ended in a disqualification back at the Royal Rumble. And of course, Logan Paul retained his title, but there was no clear winner. And it's safe to say that in storyline, or at least how the match played out, Kevin Owens had Logan Paul when it came to that match. You could also give it to a Braun Breaker if you want to give it to an up-and-comer, which I would much rather have him go up against Gunther if we're not going to have Chad Gable, but that's a different story. Braun Breaker's on SmackDown, of course, so we can add him to the stirring pot. And then we got the man who is currently antagonizing L.A. Knight. Yeah, one of my all-time favorites, the phenomenal one, AJ Styles. And I wouldn't be surprised if we actually get an AJ Styles versus LA Knight singles match at one of the WrestleManias this year. I would not be surprised. I also would not be against it. And also, it's a high-profile enough match between two of the top superstars in WWE that the fans are going to care if it's just a regular one-on-one singles match. And then we have the man that Logan Paul quickly and swiftly antagonized and pretty much screwed at Elimination Chamber. Someone very people want to mess with. Someone very few people want to encounter. And of course, I'm talking about the 14-time world champion, 2-time Royal Rumble winner, multi-time WrestleMania main eventer, and damn it, a surefire first ballot Hall of Famer. I'm talking about the Viper, I'm talking about the Apex Predator, and I'm talking about the former Legend Killer in a Randy Orton. In a Randy Orton versus Logan Paul match, one-on-one, WrestleMania, it doesn't get any bigger for Logan Paul than that. In this current stage of his career, of course. So, there's a lot of possibilities on the blue brand for the current U.S. champion. And the only way WWE loses in this or any scenario is if Logan Paul and the U.S. title does not get defended at WrestleMania. That's the only way they don't lose. That's the only way they lose. And there's a lot of rumblings that the IWC, the WWE fans online, they want a ladder match for the U.S. title at WrestleMania. Logan Paul, L.A. Knight, yeah, AJ Styles, Randy Orton, Kevin Owens, maybe Braun Breaker can get in there after all. That's 6 men, 5, 6, 7 men, whatever. I can't count right now. I'm going to do some Steiner math if you want. I'm not going to bother you with it. But again, Logan Paul's road to WrestleMania is currently unclear, but it has so much potential to be one of the best programs heading into the biggest show of the year. So with that said, my pick, what I still want to happen is, of course, Logan Paul defending the U.S. title against L.A. Knight. However, storylines seem to be going differently nowadays. So with that said, we'll just wait and see what happens. What are your thoughts? Who do you think is going to face off against Logan Paul? Is it going to be a singles match, a triple threat match, a 4-way, a 5-way, a 6-way, a ladder match? Leave your thoughts, comments, and predictions in the comment section below. With that said, I'm Alexis Carrillo. This has been Wrestling Talk, and I'll see you next time.